It was a crisp, cold night, under an inky black sky filled with millions of brilliant white stars, and the ride home from the clubhouse took 20 minutes or so. I loved riding on my own at night. There was something about the blackness, the cold wind biting at my face, the streaming smear of light on the road ahead, the howling solitude, the unthinking way that I followed the road, long grooved with memories, testing each familiar curve just one more time, that made me feel as though I was riding towards the end of the world, by myself, in my own private bubble of time and space. Alone in a dream, I roared up and across the high empty moors. Then, the dry stone walls started to close in on either side of the road curves, as I left the high ground behind and descended through the bends, into the rolling foothills with their fields and occasional yellow windowed Dales farms. Down here, the road home was along a mix of old straight Roman roads that just begged me to gun the motor, the wind whipping past my ears singing that strange music, and sudden twisting curves familiar through years of instinctive riding, requiring fierce braking at the last possible moment, the bike drifting, using all of the available road to get the right positioning to hustle through them, the bike heeled over to maintain the speed and set me up for the acceleration that pulled me upright again as I set up for the next bend. Before the glow of the first street light ahead signalled the start of the final drop, down along the long straight into the valley, the lights of the town opening up before me as the machine and I roared in out of the dark. Like I said, it was the type of riding I always enjoyed. It was very zen somehow. The speeding solitude, with just the sound of the wind and the mix of unthinking instinct and the fierce, full mind and body concentration required on the here and now of the riding, freeing my mind to wander. It gave me time to think. But tonight was different. It had been fascinating, sitting back at the clubhouse, to hear and see Tiny our Prez and Baz theirs in operation, and to mull over the differences. All clubs are either dictatorships run by a single dominant individual until such time as someone successfully usurps their rule, or democracies run on the basis of consensus. They always have been, always will be. We in the Legion were a democracy. Certainly the ex-Reavers part was, some other cohorts less so. That was why Tiny had called the meeting tonight. If there was something important to be said, we all needed to hear about it if we were to decide what we, as a club, were going to do. Baz, by contrast, ruled his charter with a rod of iron. A bit like Butcher did with his boys down in Mackhamland. I'd never been surprised that those two got on so well. It was gone 11 when, bike locked up round the side, I walked in through the back door and parked my lid on the table. How'd it go? What's up? Can you tell me? Sharon was an old school old lady. She knew that club business was club business, and that sometimes I couldn't tell her everything. I hadn't yet decided how much I would tell her, but I had to say something. In a word, trouble, with a capital F.